Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready whenever there's no intro for this. I'm just getting that tweet out. Anyways, yeah, so some people coming home from Valencia. I guess Snute got home not too long ago. So he did mention, and hopefully it's not going to be too rough from the travel. But luckily, I think for him in Valencia, it's not nearly as bad as crazy super time zone, ultra jet lag hangover times.
Those are the best times. Oh, bye.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Waiting for players? Zombie Grump, Snute, HyuN, and Rifkin. What? What just happened?
You just left the, like, we all got in and you were just gone.
Wait, I'm gone. Is the game still loading?
We were in the game.
Oh, really?
We had like re.
Oh, because I'm still at the load screen and it just is waiting for players like a drop screen. I've never seen this before. Or maybe I have. No, actually I did one
Man,
time forever ago.
I gave Blizzard so many, like, begrudgingly I gave them props because I was gonna make that video about all the bugs, right? And then son of a bitches,
Alright.
all of them,
I
sons of
can't
bitches.
Alt
I guess, okay.
F4.
Oh, I guess you gotta.
In task it, yeah, give me a sec, guys. Not a good start to the day. I would like to know what caused this. And hope it doesn't happen again.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so they fixed the production tab icons, which I was gonna complain about. They fixed the transparency on the creep, which I was gonna complain about. And I was like, maybe they fixed the lobby bug too, and I was gonna find out today. And
Nah.
maybe they did, but in turn, there's now this bug.
I would take the lobby bug back over this. Also, I gotta get Twitch Alerts sounds on. I turned Twitch Alerts on. I didn't turn Twitch Alerts sounds on. So that's a thing. So thank you to Shaunison for just resubbing, Albatross for resubbing, and everyone else who we may have missed today as we get this rough start to our day.
It's just central, right? Because it's Korea and EU.
Sure.
Yeah, I have to actually make sure I was in. Yeah, I am. I'm the best.
You are. Alright, shoutouts to Hoof9 for the 5-month resub as well. Says Stardew Valley, year 2, 100 million per season. Nice! Absolutely nice. Shannon in chat also said with their resub, yeah, here to thank you for the awesome things you do for the StarCraft 2 community. Well, thank you for supporting us doing awesome things for the StarCraft 2 community.
Thanks.
But let's hop to the in-game screen. I'm going to be in-game. I'm not hands are off the keyboard. I'm not pressing anything. I'm not tabbed
It's
out.
like we're playing Damned.
I know, right? Everyone, hands in the air. Deep breaths. Okay. Thank you to Corbin J for resubbing for 3 months as well.
I'm getting down to like the last little bit of coffee, which means all the sugar's right there. Oh yeah.
Alright, folks. We are in game. It is our first match of the day. Welcome back to the Ting Open. We missed you. Of course, if you guys live in the United States, make sure to check out the promo code on the website, bttv.ting.com. Get your $25 in credit, and check out the Ting store. Help us get a Season 3 of Ting and all that goodness. But to kick off today, we're going to have quite a few of these. It's a ZvZ. Ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom left, just returning recently from Valencia, it is Snute.
The bottom right, cheesing. Yeah, it's the red Zerg HyuN.
So just a quick comment. Well, I didn't watch a lot of Valencia. I made sure to tune in for that final day, and I gotta say, just even if you as well didn't have time to watch it, the bracket results for Valencia were really interesting. I guess it's still for me. I'm just like, oh, we need some Koreans. It's like less hype, right? All this stuff, blah blah blah. But the actual results surprised me. Quite a few of the people I expected to win did not.
Yeah, what losers? But no, yeah, like, I mean, Marine Lord, he's always been a very top contender and foreigner and whatnot, but just with Snute and obviously Nurtio, spoiler alert. But Snute was like supposed to be number one, Terran versus Zerg versus Terran, and
Yep.
he actually got 3-0'd, so that was really surprising. Like maybe a 3-2, and I'm like, yeah, I believed in you, Marine Lord, but nah, it was a complete shutout. It was really quite odd, but yeah, there was a ton of wrong predictions, which I mean made for a better overall tournament, I guess, because there's a little more excitement. But yeah, those finals weren't exactly what it was supposed to be, but whatever.
So
It's all good.
Overlord scouts for Overlord in the middle of the map, and now HyuN knows exactly where Snute is. He's turning around the watchtower. He's going for a Bailey now, so he's really not looking to get in there too early. And Snute, unfortunately, I guess, isn't going to be prepared for this. He's slowly getting those queens out. He's someone who likes to play with queens, and he can play well with queens and all this. But at the end of the day, he's going to need his own lings. He's going to need his own banelings. And he is droning still. So for HyuN, this sort of stall tactic is good. But the one upside to this for Snute is that he will have a lot of drones that he can afford to lose.
That's true. He's about 10. Well, he's actually gonna have about 12 to lose.
He's not gonna see that either.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate though that Snute really is getting the latest possible scout. If his first Overlord had gone horizontal, I think that he already scouts the lack of a natural, and he's just now scouting that lings are on the way.
He
right?
saw
Like
speed.
Yeah, and yeah, it's quite obvious what's happening. I like that he pulls the drones. Actually, pulls in the help, which might backfire.
Or maybe not. I don't know. The first queen goes down. He tries to target fire the other baneling.
Yeah, either way, I guess it was gonna turn out poorly.
10 lings are on the way. Dancing on 2 banelings isn't impossible. He's actually gonna pull drones and get on top of them as quick as he can. For Snute, this is dangerous though. Those banelings pop soon. I think he knows it. But it looks like he has managed this not too badly, I gotta say.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like so far, I guess, with an asterisk. It can still go terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's ZvZ, right? But
it's so spirally, and HyuN's still dedicating to this, and he's just about lost enough too. If he's at the even drones, he always gets into the hatchery, but he's still losing lings on the the pathing, and he is able to have his own banelings. So he'll always be outmaneuvered by that speed.
that queen was 1
That was a
second
pretty
too
good
early.
spot. That actually really helps.
It did.
Oh, God.
Drones still
Oh,
gotta make
God.
sure they don't get that hit though, because if the drones eat the hits, then all those lings will clean them up pretty easy. But 2 for 2, top of the ramp, not bad.
Ooh. One for... this is actually turning out okay. That one baneling didn't even get all the larvae in the main base, which I think was a mistake, because they only ended up getting 1 drone. But this might just be held. Of course, Frost, even though it's horizontal spawn, still a decent-sized map. The reinforcements aren't as quick as possible, and the banelings are doing a nice job tuning up these speedlings, even though Snute himself doesn't have speed. Target firing those banelings, uses one of his banelings too. The drones aren't all within like 1 health range too, so they're able to fight whatever's left over in the main base.
This has been not bad. Now he's got a bit of a hold on that ramp. He still doesn't have speed though, which is really unfortunate. So he's had to put so much money into these banelings, so much gas into the banelings. So constantly pulling the drones like this has started to really cost him, even though he had a drone lead for a small period of time, which he is still barely maintaining. If you look at the income graph, it's actually been HyuN, and more HyuN, what with all these drone pulls.
Yeah. Now he still has more drones, as he did start droning, I think, as he realized. I mean, he has had overlords in decent enough positions, I suppose, but also just seeing the front of the base not being as attacked as it was. Yeah, he realized that this is probably going to go on. I mean, pretty rare to have such an early pool, such a dedicated early pool, go into a macro game, but it's one of those rare situations where, like, maybe you do have a reason to, for HyuN. He did do a lot of drone damage. And he still has that map control because Snute never got speed.
Right, and I was about to bring that up, and I'm wondering if he's even going to get speed. It's at this point
right
where
now, yeah,
it's stabilized, so he doesn't necessarily have to. If he wants to move on to roaches, that gas and minerals may be better spent for it.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you get speed and they don't expect it, right? Because that's also something that HyuN also he wants to scout with that spawning pool is moving. You can like surprise them, right? They think it's going to be a macro game, they get a 3rd base, and then suddenly you have the 20 speedlings, and they were like, "Oh shit, I thought you were going to go to roach or something like that." But we'll see. It's actually a 3rd base for Snute, which HyuN does scout and speed, which I don't think he scouted.
Okay,
His building was running around for too long.
Yeah, it was running for quite some time. That 3rd base will get Snute in a really nice spot, even though the worker count is evened up at this point. You guys got to remember, again, Snute's had those drones for a little bit longer. So even just going off that income graph, we can see like it's still better for Snute. It's going to be evening out here in a second, but that's where that 3rd base comes into play, and I think production is going to be huge. He has moved to a Roach Warren as well, whereas HyuN is still sticking on Lings. 3rd base gets slapped down here to the south, but still that question of roaches and timing and all of this, I mean, to an extent, we've seen that lots of lings can take on roaches, but that's usually when they're paired up with upgrades, which HyuN is not going for either. Oh, there's the Eva Chamber now.
Yeah, he's getting it now, but if Snute really is going to go for an attack here as his speed and Roach Warren times out, there won't be time for an upgrade, and that might just be the good choice.
So we had some resubs go on while the action was heated up. Jim went 9, and most recently, Rotate Owls resubs for 31 months, and he says, just my monthly visit. 31 months, man. Big love. I can't, dude, just big love. That's all I can say.
Oh, HyuN does not quite know that this huge roach attack is coming. He might have some, inclination, having done so many early pools in his life, right? And I think for Snute, this is probably a really good idea. You want to catch them before they've really caught up, thanks to their early pool. Is HyuN's been doing a decent job of it, right? I mean, he's actually ahead of drones right now, but he has been catching up. And giving 2 more minutes, maybe he does make it into an even game, but Snute attacks before then, as he's trying to do, and I'm not sure HyuN could ever hold. He's down significantly in army supply.
I'm just gonna be honest, like Snute, his control has been just fantastic so far this game. Like bobbing and weaving around the bailings, dancer in here to the third. He's not missing out on macro when this goes on either, so it just really, really playing well in this first game. But yeah, that roach count, that supply difference, that's gonna be something that is, I'd say, nigh impossible to overcome. If HyuN had, like, he shouldn't have it, right? But if he had like 5 spine crawlers, maybe this is a different story. But unfortunately, that is just simply too many roaches to deal with. 22 to 5. Lings probably flooding in afterwards. Yeah, there's 18 now in the production tab out of Snutes. Thank goodness for the production tab.
Yeah, great production tab. I mean, even if HyuN wasn't trying to play the macro game here, like get a layer, get +1, this looks like a common scenario if it came in just right now. See the person trying to macro and the other person trying to all in. But even if he wasn't, I still think that he would be overwhelmed. He's down 20 plus. Line. Oh, gee, though. Oh, no. But it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, he's still going to win the Roach War. The Lings flooding in are going to win the game. I mean, Snute held this attack really well, and the recovery wasn't one of those ones that stagnates. He used it to turn it into his own attack. Really nice as it comes across the map. GG. Game 1 goes to Snute. Alright, so that was the first one. A quick reminder that the maps we're using for today are different than the other maps in the wildcard, and I guess our rules have always stated current season ladder pool or whatever, so I guess that's what we stick for with this. So we might... I didn't actually see the vetoes since Delta 4, or I don't see them, excuse me. Do we have any cool... crazy New Gettysburgs or anything like that in the map pool?
Well, New Gettysburg is the 5th map, but really New Gettysburg as its new iteration is not, I feel, that crazy.
Alright.
It's okay.
I'm gonna pop this energy drink. This 5-hour energy. Wish me luck.
Yeah, I need that second coffee now.
Oh, these don't taste very good. No.
Yeah, I could have told you that one.
I should have just stuck with Diet Red Bull. Alright. King Sejong Station. Pretty standard map, but this is also one of those ones where it's a cheesy map. It can be, rather, excuse me. I still think my favorite ZvZ on this map is one we'll never have cast, and that was the Homestar Cup one. TLO versus Scarlet. And that game itself wasn't so awesome, so much as the cameras and the reaction of the players during that game. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, a quick recap would be they both did that cheeky thing where you don't take your natural base here, you take it at your third.
Oh,
and
that one.
TLO and Scarlet both scouted each other at the same time, and just watching their faces on camera, both of them just smiling and laughing and realizing what the other had done. I wish we could do more of that sort of stuff. But anyways, got to get the score on the board. He's down a point. In the bottom right, coming from Korea, it's Jin Air Green Wings HyuN.
The top left, is the Red Zerg. He is Liquid Snute.
And thank you to Yohasi for the 6-month resub. He says thank you in turn. Quick story about HyuN, actually. I almost feel bad. HyuN's a good friend of ours, guys. He's been long-time player on a lot of our tournaments. He won our very first live event ever, all this good stuff. So I've joked around with him quite a bit. And he thought this was yesterday, and yesterday was Pro League. And he was going to have to miss it, so he messages me with this really sad, very humble, I have to forfeit message, right? Whoa, hold the phone. 3 hatch? What? Wow. Dude, this is... Okay, it's going to be fine because of Snute's opening, but this is a map where we've seen so many people do early pulls on. This is so freaking risky.
Yeah. Continue with your point.
Oh, so yeah, my story. So yesterday, he comes to me all humbled, like, I'm sorry I have to forfeit. I don't want to let you down. Love you. And I of course was sleeping because of the time zone difference. So I wake up, I'm like, no, you dummy, it's tomorrow. What are you gonna do? Like, and then we kind of talked back and forth. He felt embarrassed for misunderstanding, but I was like, man, they just bench you anyways for like just show up. Screw that.
Aww.
Come to our thing.
He's not allowed to do that.
Yeah, he's not allowed to. He's like have to support team and all that. So I mean, good guy HyuN's got his priorities straight, I guess. Just would have been really sad if he did have to forfeit. I'm glad he didn't though.
Yeah, me too, me too. He's definitely one of those guys that I think people have kind of forgotten about. I mean, I certainly have. He's not participating in all the foreign events that he used to, obviously.
Well,
but
I mean, it's that and being on that Kespa team, man. Like, you're so limited on what you can do. I think HyuN was really a free spirit. He was a free agent for a long time. Went to Germany, went to Europe. Could do all of these things, no problem. Now, you know, he kind of has to ask permission to wipe his butt type thing.
Yeah, a little.
So
Talking back
to
to
scout this. Actually,
yeah,
did
yeah,
scout it.
finally does. It's a little awkward. I mean, but the interesting thing about the 3-hatch before pool is that I feel like it's very actually kind of difficult to respond against. Like, you're either already responding by like getting like a bit earlier of a baneling nest, you know, you're going to be a little aggressive, and they're like, oh shit, maybe I should be like really aggressive, or you just take your own third base. Like, that seems to be the two options, right? And it seems like taking your own third base is actually the better move. By the time you're all prepared with your own lings and your own banelings, they seem to be prepared with their own lings and their own banelings.
I like that Snute's doing kind of a combination of the two. Like, he is getting aggressive. He's going to have units on the field to play with. And the nice thing about speed is banelings aren't such a problem. But he is taking his third at the same time. So if he keeps the pressure hard on HyuN, there'll be no pressure on his own third. But he's behind drones by quite a bit. So the question is, does he go for the third or does he go for the natural? And it looks like natural is going to be the answer. 3 queens on that ramp means he's not breaking it anytime soon. He can then go for that third base if he really wants to. Banelings will be popping out in a second. And these will probably just be used to zone out HyuN's own lings. Snute catching a couple of free kills there as well with speed.
HyuN might have just been a little too late on his own speedlings. His third is already gonna die.
But, yeah, it's... For me, it's not about what happens right here, right now. This third is going to die, without question. It's the Snute go down behind this. Lots of awkward trades here as Baneling die for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, that kills a lot of HyuN's counterattack potential. And if HyuN was counterattacking right now and Snute had nothing because he was trying to drone, as he is right now, then Snute would be in a lot of trouble. But Snute might end up just coming out ahead thanks to that third. His army supply should still be great enough to take on this with a couple of banelings. All he needs is one decent hit.
It's a little scary position right here, but I think especially because he wanted to make the banelings back at home, he is waiting for his real powerhouse unit, so that's giving Snute a lot of time to have already droned. I mean, he's already up, 8 workers. I can do math. That's great. And now he's just adding on lings and banelings, and he had a couple behind everything anyway. So in fact, he's feeling very confident, I guess, as he sees how many lings exactly with his overlords are coming out. He starts droning again.
So, you know how you could have made your statement a lot more confident?
No, I don't.
I was going to say, you could have just said ish instead of...
Ish. 8-ish.
Yeah, she had 8-ish drones. Like, okay, great. She knows what she's talking about. Instead of, yeah, I can do math at stream.
Those are 12 drones, you idiot. I said ish.
But back up.
Yeah. So this is a very, very bad position for HyuN. Like I said, like, it's nice that Snute already had like a baneling nest on the way before he even scouted. You know, like 20 seconds before he scouted it, and it sucks that HyuN was just a little bit too late on all of his own, because it's not about like demolishing Snute's push. It's about like holding on and then more barely holding on and then like, okay, there, I got it. Like I'm good. And that might have evened out the game, but as it is, it's now Snute in the lead once again. But Snute is gonna have to deal with a very similar situation in the last game, just in reverse. Like, his Roachborn isn't done actually, so it's even worse than last game. Or at least HyuN had roaches, and this might just be HyuN's moment.
It's really his best shot to get some serious damage in here.
Snute is prepping for his roaches, but his roaches can't be made. Like, he has so much money.
It's not only that, but the banelings. If this was just lings behind HyuN, Snute could probably hold this, but the banelings are what makes this so difficult. He's out of his own banelings. He's out of everything to worry. He's pulling the drones.
No.
Oh no!
Jesus.
Oh, big hit on the ramp. Only gets 4. Roaches about to pop. Snute's still up about, 13-ish drones. He's got more he can bleed out. But you're right. I think HyuN may have... It's funny because the supply doesn't look so bad, but it is coming out. Like, that's the problem. It's not already on the field.
He knew that it was on the way, and it's just the Roachborn timing he had the even army supply, but right, like it's all coming out from different hatcheries, and I think HyuN might have done it. Now, if
Well,
HyuN starts droning, I think he really has, but he is just continuing to make lings.
Snute actually holds on that third. The
Oh,
main base
of
is
course.
problems.
He actually still has equal amounts of drones.
Well, that's what I was saying. He had drones to lose, right? So like Snute might not have lost this just yet. He loses his lead. There's no doubt about that.
That's for
But
sure, yeah.
Roaches should be able to hold on this ramp.
Yeah, I don't know about HyuN continuing.
Oh, I don't know
to
about pushing out like this. Oh no,
make,
Snute.
okay, maybe links were the answer.
Yeah, I mean, he may not have, because if he stayed on the ramp,
So-
then his third may have been up for grabs. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
still
it's-
questionable. Like either way for this for Snute, in a tough spot, but making the best of it. That's for certain.
Well, HyuN still he wants to end this game, and that choice might be what bites him in the butt. Like, I think a safer option might have
Roaches,
been
focus
to
fire the
throw.
Banes. Focus fire the Banes.
He might
Nice.
Push and win, but those Baneling, yeah, the Baneling shots are really nice. He has just enough lings to push
Oh
back.
my
Now,
gosh.
he's still waiting for his own reinforcements. So
But-
now Snute has the opportunity to counter if he wants with his own lings.
Right, it's a really strange situation because HyuN didn't use the time to drone. He didn't sneak any drones in there, so he didn't get ahead economically. He doesn't have a lot of extra anything going for him. So this game is back on even footing, with the difference being that Snute's maybe got a little bit more, I guess, flexibility in what he's got with the spinning speedlings out.
The Speedlings, yeah, they're gonna have to, I guess, meet in the middle occasionally, but Snute ever gets that map control back, like pushing HyuN back into his own base, and he can
Ooh.
obviously start to recover and maybe get one of those lucky run bys, because he is now down a few drones.
The Ravagers are really interesting to me in this because they're actually not that great. They're really squishy compared to that of the Roaches. So if Ling's got on top of them, go down pretty quick.
Yeah. I guess he figures he has enough of his own Banelings and Roaches that isn't too much of a problem. It looks to be more like getting rid of those overlords. And for Snute, he doesn't have that many Lings. They're not upgraded, right?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
So that's not worth it. Because I was gonna say, like, I think these Lings are not gonna be, I'm gonna fight you whenever I see a chance. I mean, I think they're gonna be more likely
He's
to try
scouting
and
too.
counterattack. Or the scouting.
I think that's so smart too to assess where HyuN's at. Whether that base if that base had no workers, he'd know it was an all-in. This would be a completely different game for Snute. But now fully where he's got to get back home, he's out of
It's
position.
in fact the same situation. He has more drones. He can lose a lot.
Baneling's
But his
out of
arm
trade for
supply is not
Banelings?
big at all. His
Well,
Lings come back and the
well, that's the
Banelings are all
thing.
gone.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Surrounds on the Ravagers, as stated before, they don't have a lot of health, so they go down very quickly.
Before HyuN's own Lings can help out with the fight.
But now Snoot's
Now
got no
they're-
Banelings.
He has 13 more Roaches on the way, though.
Yeah, I think he'll probably hold on to this just barely, but this has been a very back and forth, at least much more than it should have been. But
Take shots. Roaches pop out at the last second to help. Oh, but they pulled the... Okay, here you go.
All right, here's the thing though, that evens up the working count once again, but Snute comes up with a lot of Roaches versus what is mostly Lings over here. HyuN does have more Lings on the way, but nobody's got upgrades. I don't know where this goes. This has just been crazy and hectic and really stressful. I can only
Honestly,
imagine how it is for the players.
Yeah, this is actually the most back and forth I've seen a transition to Roaches been. Like, we saw that one game with Lings. That'll always be the most back and forth
The
game we've ever
most,
seen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Revolver,
for sure. But this is
never
like
forget.
the most with like Roach transition, right? Because they still aren't entirely on Roach. They're not like base trading. They're in that kind of awkward spot where, like, okay, ideally one person has started his lair and finally Snute's that guy, but like they've never had a shot. They both had similar ideas, and now Snute's gonna try and be that guy, but I feel like he's more consistently been that guy. He's the one that's droning more often, and now he's getting in the lair, and he is back to droning as well, and that might kill him. HyuN is not ready to do the same thing.
I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, though. HyuN keeps trying to win the game, not get ahead in the game, and that's where you're reaching and you're really starting to put yourself out there. Also, I'm noticing zooming out really far removes shadows from units. Is that new, or is that a bug?
I noticed that our last cast. I was like, oh, there wasn't a shadow on that thing.
Those Ravager hits are actually not too bad, and the Banelings aren't going off. The Baneling pops off behind the Roaches and doesn't touch any of the Lings. This is a problem. Now he gets fully surrounded. In Snute, he's got 20 Lings on the way. We'll see if that's enough to defend.
I think, maybe not. I thought he was going to take maybe a bit better of a Roach trade, but HyuN's Lings are now pouring in as well. 20 Lings is quite a lot, but the Queen's got to come. The drones are coming on now, too, but I think Snute has finally been broken. Maybe a little too greedy with that lair. With the drones as well as the lair.
He's up so many workers, though, so this pull, it's still going to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
look at
feel
that.
like it,
The queens disappear. The shadows. This bug bothers me. Why does this exist?
but yeah, maybe he didn't go for the lair. Maybe he didn't go for the extra drones. He holds that again, but that was maybe a little bit too much.
Well, that ties things up now 1-1, guys. And we're going to go to a small commercial break. I quickly put this in so we can quickly get it over with, and we'll see you guys soon. Alright, guys, we're back. Thanks for watching that commercial break. We are getting into New Galactic Process. This is one of the new maps from the new season of Ladder. Now, here's the funny thing I know about the BaseTradeTV audience. There's a lot of people who actually watch rather than play the game, so some of you may not have seen this map yet. You did likely see an iteration of this in the map contest we threw not too long ago, but the new version's got a couple of small changes. We'll talk about it. We haven't cast any games on it, so welcome as you join us for our first cast on this live map. But took a few moments to get going there because HyuN had AFK'd or something.
I never made that joke. Honey bun.
HyuNy bunny. HyuNy pop.
It's like a honey bun, but it's a honey bun. Yow.
Alright, so New Galactic Process looks a lot like Cloud Kingdom, and you guys would not be wrong in assuming that, as it is a lot of inspiration taken from it. But
I've been watching chat, during the breaks. Let's say this real quick. And it feels like motions are higher. What happened to you guys? See more people getting really angry at the players or at us?
it's probably people betting or something stupid.
Just calm down. Yeah, it's all those betters. Can you please tell that guy not to lose?
Hey guys, by the way, while we're in California, we found this really cool website, BaseTradeTVLotto.com. I don't know if they'll be willing to sponsor us or not. Okay, no, that joke's dead, done to death already. But anyways, welcome back. It's tied up 1-1 as we get to game number 3. We'll talk more about the map in a moment. This is for the TING Open Season 2. And of course, this wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. So check out bttv.ting.com if you live in the United States. But bottom left side of Galactic Process, it's going to be the Blue Zerg player, Team Liquid Snute.
The top right, as the Red Zerg, he is HyuN.
I wonder if Ting would be able to jump in on that T-Mobile Pokemon data game.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that, but I know Ting has mentioned lower data rates, so I don't know.
I am so stoked. Like, I love Pokemon Go. The fact that it's out in Canada, I've got this like monkey off my back now. Of, like, I'm gonna get banned for playing this in a country that's not out in yet.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, I would love to love it more, but seriously, there's never any Pokemon around me. Like, I have to go to, like, Tyson's.
Well, it's the same thing with me. I don't have, like, I know I have more than you, but I still don't have any.
Tell me you walk by a graveyard and find Gassies, and I'm like, sometimes when it's dark out and I'm walking alone in the middle of the street.
Well, I posted a picture like 2 days ago, and I've actually really enjoyed meeting a lot of people. I don't learn anyone's names or anything. Like, it's just kind of fun. Like, hey, Pokemon, yeah, what team are you? Valor? Oh, I'm Mystic.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of fun talking to them. It's nice.
It is, yeah.
It's like when you bump into someone in Ladder, and for like that 15 minutes you guys are friends, you'll never see them again.
I've never been friends with anyone on Ladder.
Sorry, I mean on team games. Excuse me.
There you go. So yeah, I've been sneezing and I sound probably pretty nasally. I am sick, and I've been sick for what I want to say has been a week and a half. It just took like my body to realize it for the last 2 days. It was like, oh yeah, here's the nasal congestion. Like, we forgot about that part for like a week. But yeah, so I've been eating like honey, with tea, drinking rather, and I've been drinking medicine, right? And all the medicine I have is the medicine from Germany, from when I was sick at Home Story Cup.
Oh, geez.
So every single time I bust out that honey or bust out the aspirin, I'm like, good times. I made friends.
All right,
Fizzling.
Gotta give some quick shout outs in this slower start to the game to Stelios Cantos. Stelios throws in for 5 months and says, glad you guys are back. My mornings last week were boring apart from Evo. Yeah, Fear Dragon actually made us sit down and watch Evo, man. That was super hype. Oh my god.
And he was like, oh, I'm so hype. Yeah, and then Vigilante. Did you do that?
Vigilante 2024 hits us up for 23 months. Nice.
Yeah.
Now the map we've kind of just been perusing over, and I guess we did say we would talk about it a bit.
Well,
some problems though were made with the rocks on your back doors. So I just want to point out the scouting that Snute has over here is very, very important.
That is absolutely true. I wanted to point out that they both skipped speed. Well, they didn't skip speed.
Yeah,
They
yeah. Look at
both
him. He skipped speed right past it.
they both got roaches really, really early. Snute actually did push off his speed a little bit. HyuN got his, but Snute's also going for like +1, and I'm guessing maybe he wanted to go for a lair eventually as well, because he's once again the guy that's droning, and HyuN is the one that's much more aggressive. So he gets that roach one pretty early. Snute has his own to like, make roaches, but I don't think he's seen like you talked about his overlord pathing. He forgot the
Yeah.
one most important overlord
Oh
over
my
like
god.
the actual
You're right.
entrance to HyuN's base. He had
You're
no
right.
idea this was coming for a very long time.
Oh, jeez. Well, unfortunately for him, he spent so much time chasing the one ling around the main as well. Everything here was just really out of proportion and out of position. And now, even though speed finishes for him, he's got 7 roaches about to pop. The drones are in hold position. Small mistakes made at Snute going to cost him. Now, is he out of the game just yet? Not necessarily, not until he loses a hatchery. But once his hatchery goes down, things do get really nasty for him.
Yeah. The Ling Flood's actually too dangerous for him to deal with.
He buys time. He almost... Oh, if he had a choke on the ramp, this could look very different. The fact he doesn't get the choke means the drones get pulled. Snute knows he's in a lot of trouble. He's fighting for his life on this attack at the ramp, but unfortunately, there's just so many lings still coming in. That hole will not be plugged, and looks like game number 3 going to go to HyuN, actually.
You know Snute has played these maps, right? Like, you got to play him for DreamHack, and it's been out for, I think, 2 weeks now.
Plus, he was in the map contest.
He was in the map contest. So that's actually very odd. He must have... That almost feels like, right? Like, he played a ladder game before this, and someone used that hallway, right? So he was like, gotta pay attention to that hallway, gotta pay attention to that hallway, and then he just kind of forgot the main attack path, which is very funny, but...
So, the issue I have is those rocks were removed, and I think having that safety is an important detail. Like, whether that just happened to him on ladder recently, or maybe this is something he's playing super extra prepared against, like, either way, the fact that you have to worry about the spot that you shouldn't have to, it's not, I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, anyways, I like the original version of the map better, needless to say. But that will give HyuN a nice 2-1 lead. Not over yet, as it is a best of 5, not a best of 3. So as we get into this 4th map, I apparently have to download it. So is this like Apotheosis or something, or what is this?
It's Frozen.
Why'd I have to download Frozen Temple? Play this map a million jillion times.
Oh, that tasted
Oh, that
like...
face. What did you just do? What did I miss?
Oh, God. Well, I was talking about that aspirin, right? Which, like, is the type that you drop in the water.
Yeah.
I
I looked away for a moment. You looked like you sucked
dropped
on
it
a
into
lemon.
lemonade, though.
Oh.
And it tasted like it should taste like vomit. But it didn't. It just tasted like it should. It was really weird. Like, that initial kind of, like, bile burn in your throat. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop there.
Yeah, you can. Thank you very, very much.
Hi, cat.
All right, people asking what's on deck next. Not to get too far ahead of the series, but this could be the last game. HyuN versus Solar will be up next. These are still the preliminary matches of the group. In fact, just going to pop out a game screen for just a second, guys. So, as you can see, the brackets, we're still in the first part of the day. We have 4 best of 5s to follow this one up. Spawning here in the top left side, though, of Frozen Temple. He is on his last life. We'll see if we can bring him back one more time. It's going to be Team Liquid's Snute.
In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, he is HyuN.
Oh god, HyuN, I actually hope he loses this so badly. Just because
What?
there's a good chance HyuN beats Solar, and if we have to actually cast HyuN versus HyuN,
We did that last Ting tournament.
we almost
Yeah.
they almost met. Then I think the group worked
Oh,
out
did
that
they
they
not?
didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't. Because I remember like getting exasperated over the same thing and then not having to worry about it.
Maybe you're right, and the problem was we kept expecting it, that we kept on changing their names. Like, it'd be like, HyuN is getting... HyuN is getting Marines.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But, yeah, that I feel like definitely would happen. But HyuN can be very... It can be very hit or miss, especially in offline tournaments, which this is not, but still, you can actually get his nerves really can get to him. And even though his TVZ win record was almost perfect for a very long time, like insanely high, he did lose one of his SSL, GSL, I forget which one, best of 3s to Lucira, I believe, of all people, which, wasn't that impressive. But anyways, he did end up winning. Spoiler alert, sorry. And maybe he's still pretty damn confident in online matches.
Well, confidence certainly brewing with this third base. If Snute wants to get up in his face, this could mirror game 2 very similarly. All the things considered, we'll see what that looks like. Quick request though, as I just realized, I still to this day doing this for like 4 years now, 3 or 4 years in that period. I've never really learned how to use Liquipedia. So if there's anyone out there who does know how to use Liquipedia and would mind updating our BaseTradeTV page with our new logo, I would actually super duper appreciate it. You can just get the image off of our Twitter, and if not, I can always give somebody a link to one.
I know enough about Liquipedia to be able to do that.
Okay. Well, you're casting, so please don't tab out and do that.
Just let me give it real quick.
That's more like me trying to ring my bell, like, Butler, I have a request.
Nah.
You're
Yeah.
like, Rifkin, there's no real bells for butlers, you idiot. I've had like 3 of them. I should know.
Shut up. But no, I had to do my own Wikipedia. It was like 2.5 years ago at this point, 3 years. My team manager was like, everyone should make a Wikipedia. It's going to be a great idea.
Nice.
Yeah, ended up being the greatest idea ever.
Sounds like it's the greatest team ever. Is that you still on that team? Or?
It was a fine team. Shut your mouth.
You're being really rude right now, Rifkin, for no
You know
reason.
who's on that team? Neve.
Okay, fair enough. So
Yeah.
you and Neve must
Suck
have really
it.
grown together over time.
Yeah, I'm just as good as Neve.
What's his first name?
Except I didn't change the Protoss. Alex.
Damn it, I was really hoping you wouldn't know that.
I know, like, I feel like I know how to spell his last name when I know how to say it too. Like,
I know, I'm in the same spot, right? It's like a subscriber name. You're just like, okay, how do I say this and not piss people off?
Yeah.
But okay, Snoot spreading creep back towards his main. I actually like this quite a bit because he knows he might have to dance around with the queens, and having that slow bit is going to hurt him. So creep spread, normally not that big of a deal in ZvZ. I think it's a bigger deal for the defense.
I don't know. Well, regardless of that, it's gonna be nice for scouting. That's
Oh,
for sure. If it's not far enough, but
He needs units.
he once again had his overlord just like I feel a little out of position. He does see it, of course. Like, it's in the middle of the map, but maybe it could have been a little bit closer to the natural. And Frozen was not a very big map, where like again, not seeing something could really kill you.
This ghetto wall is going to buy him time, though. Transfusing to go to that queen. Oh, he doesn't have it by like a few seconds.
It is Frozen Temple, and I think you always have the safety, and that's why he felt comfortable going for roaches right off the bat, you know, just as quick as he did, and, you know, not getting his own Baneling nest. But unfortunately, that will give control to HyuN, who I feel should get this third eventually, even if it's not right now. Just like any time Snute like stop paying attention for a second, and that third's gonna go down because you know that's so low health, and actually trying to save it just costs Snute his roaches.
But it does get rid of the Banelings, so now this isn't such a problem.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just taken as many roaches as possible and then last hit the hatchery because it was so low. But those Banelings actually, I don't know about that. And now Snute does save his third, and now without 25 lings to run around with, HyuN might never get that third base. He has his own, but he's like, look at the drone count.
So I agree, like that was actually a problem using the Banelings like that, but at the same time, I don't think HyuN could have used them any better, and returning them back home may not have been an option, depending on how this roach is chased. I think he tried to make the best out of a bad situation, and there wasn't really going to be a good result either way. However, using them on the hatchery, maybe focusing the third, would have been slightly better for him.
Maybe, because I think of that choice right there is like, he knows he skipped so many drones to do this, and you get the third base and they counterattack, or you try and like call the numbers of the counterattack and then hope to God maybe later you can get the third base, which I guess in that case, I get, okay, like taking the roaches out first was probably the better idea. But Snute, not really in a hurry. He's definitely ahead in this game. I actually don't see how he would lose it unless, even if Ling's on every single base, his counterattack would probably win. Although if it's like a base, I have no idea.
What do you think would be a better option for HyuN? Like an all-in attack, like you just focus everything on the third, or focus everything on the natural, or do you think you split them up amongst the 3 bases and just hope to get lots and lots of worker kills?
I think you have to get lots and lots of worker kills. Only getting the third base will not work for you.
Yeah, I'm like so on this, because I feel like if he does a cool attack where you like send some Lings north, maybe 3 Banelings with it, he could easily take out that third while pushing into the natural, but at the same time, he's got this gateway that he has to break, which will be tough.
Yeah.
He might not have the option, though. He might just have to play straight up defensive. As Snute comes across the map with Ravagers, these will be kind of nice. Add a little bit of extra damage.
HyuN's army
Oh,
supply.
he's got it in the open, too. Oh, this is not back against the wall. Oh, but the Corrosive Bile hits so many Banelings!
That was pretty good.
He's not focus firing down the rest. He's trying to now, realizing that he needs to get those links in there. HyuN takes a pretty good fight, but Snoot's still got 51 army supply.
Yeah.
And that's going to be game. GG.
I feel like HyuN's idea, right? He got that third base pretty fast, then he went for this huge attack, and it didn't do anything. It actually ended really lamely. It is kind of supporting. But you've seen that attack before, and you know that if they busted the front wall and caused massive headaches. But Snute, I guess, probably anticipated it, but also just made it, yeah, again, look pretty easy.
Well, guys, we're going to hit up a second commercial break while we get into this final game, this ace match of the series, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, we're getting into New Gettysburg. Game number 5. Things tied up 2-2 in this preliminary match, and this... I just want to comment. Like, I have the utmost respect and love for both these guys. You know, we really like Snute and HyuN personally outside of the game, but they've shown us a really great back and forth ZvZ so far. And I like that we haven't seen mutants today, but maybe this will be the changes? I don't know. Very quick drone scout says maybe otherwise. In the bottom right side of New Gettysburg, it is going to be the blue Zerg player, Team Liquid's Snute.
In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, he is HyuN.
Now, HyuN might not actually be up to cheekiness so much as he is paranoia. It's strange to say, but a drone scout in ZvZ is pretty unprecedented, and this could actually cause some annoyance for him too. But we've been over this, we've looked at the actual graphs, the income, and the statistics, and a drone scout is not cost effective in ZvZ to this weird degree where it's not only do you lose the worker that is scouting, your opponent has enough income over you that they gain a worker, so it's like being down 2 workers right off the bat.
Yep, yeah, we did. We paid pretty close attention last time this happened. So it's always weird to see anyone do it, but like especially a pro gamer, and I guess especially on top of that, like Korean, right, who's usually like all about that specific number. But if you really are scared and you think your opponent has a high chance of doing an early pool because they're that type of player, you know, if you're using Bly or because it's game number 5 and you think that they can actually throw it out,
Whoa.
then it is the safer option, especially if you're going to plan on doing this.
Okay.
Now, I still feel like this is, you know, still risky, though, right? Because it does seem to happen on King Sejong. Yeah. Where Snute is already kind of planning on being, you know, maybe a little aggressive. He gets, like, an okay timed Baneling Nest, and it says, oh, you have a third base, I'm actually going to, like, try and kill this, and, you know, HyuN once again can't defend, and suddenly he starts off a little bad. He ended up winning that game, of course, but he did also lose the hatchery very early on initially.
I mean, this is something where maybe I've not been paying as close attention as some of those who are watching right now, but it looks to me like Snoot's had these similar openings too in most games. We're like, okay, get the one gas, get the pool, you get, like, this. It's a standardly safe opening. So, yeah, if he sees the opportunity to present himself, maybe he goes through the center of the map. Unlikely to go through here, as New Gettysburg now has this pathway up here, a little bit easier.
Yeah, considering that HyuN has been by far the more aggressive, you know, he's done the early pool and he's been, you know, the all-inner, you know, on King Sejong, right? By drone scouting, he almost like told Snute, like, hey, don't worry about Lings. But yeah, I guess New Gettysburg, one of the new maps, and has very odd pathways. You know, if they go through the middle of the map and you'll be able to see it, that's not where you're going to go with an early pool. If they go around, that's so long, it may not be really worth it. I actually don't know Zerg's opinions on this map quite yet, but regardless, it's where we're at right now, and this is big difference. Snoot's going for Roach Warren as opposed to that Baneling we saw on King Sejong.
He did this pretty well timed with that Scout on the Overlord. I think this had a lot to do with that third.
Yeah, like the King Sejong game, it really was like the Baneling Nest came down and then he scouted. I'm like 99% sure, so it's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess we'll try and attack. But yeah, I don't know if this is just going to be, and it's like a huge attack or right down the middle, or if he's just like, yeah, okay, we're gonna play a macro game, because that is the other option. We've seen Zerg players see a third base and be like, okay, well, I guess you got faster, but I'm gonna drone a little harder or something like that, right? And it can actually even out. And like 2 roaches is not that big of a deal. Oh, there we go, more roaches.
Quick shout outs to CGTF2, 31 months, another 31-monther. Rotidal was joining that club as well. Thank you, both of you. This is rebrand hype. Kind of. So if you guys haven't seen it, we got a new logo. We actually have, I've been waiting till we had some downtime between series to talk about it. There's a lot of really cool things about this logo that you're not going to see in play just yet. And we'll talk a little bit more of it in time. But, oh my god, I just looked at you, camera. What are you doing? Are you okay?
I just did the rest of the aspirin. It's
okay.
terrible.
So I'm glad to hear you're okay. This is why I like the Roach choice, though. To be able to go through the middle of the map like this might not be so possible with Lings. You know, one Baneling sitting here would prevent Snute from coming through. But Roaches actually have the freedom and the health and the durability to actually take on anything that might be blocking them.
Yeah, they can also be the blockers.
Yeah.
Like, Snute, he made 6, which is 3 more than you technically need to wall off. But it's still like, yeah, if he wanted, he saw nothing but Lings, he could be like, okay, 3 Roaches, wall off with, 3 behind. That's a pretty strong wall off, gotta go around. That would be all of his army, but as he saw, it was Roaches, so that's not a tactic that's really going to work. But it's still, like, I could see that happening. He does have an Overload covering the top side. He sees the Roaches moving elsewhere.
Yeah. I was going to comment because we've had a couple games where Snute has been out of position with scouting, and that's really been what screws him. But this game, he's a little bit prepared for it. We'll see if it's enough, though. He does lead in workers, which is nice. His income, fantastic. But he's not blocking down here, and he's unfortunately a little bit, I don't know, awkwardly positioned to take this fight.
Yeah, I'd say that's the worst thing right now. His armor supply is perfectly fine, and, yeah, he has a couple of drones to lose, but it was his positioning that looked a little bit odd. Now he consolidates a little bit more.
Oh, he splits because he doesn't know where this is going.
Yeah,
We'll see if that split kills him. It's not so bad initially because the Roaches, of course, slow, but the response for the back end might be slower than his defense on the front side. Baneling's coming in, don't go off on too much, but they still get some splash damage. Snute attacking from 2 different angles. Defender's advantage should be his, and I think he will push this back.
Yeah. Yeah, it ended up working out pretty well. No one's really over-dedicated, though. This isn't HyuN down 20 workers, and had he started joining maybe a second earlier, he might even be on par with Snute's. But now it's still going to be just the tiniest bit behind. But it is a question, like, now we've never really gone to a point where they both had layers. And that's the major reason we haven't seen Spire play at all. I think maybe a lair finished in one game, but I'm not even sure about that. I think it was, like, on the way. In both the games, they managed to get to it. So, if someone goes for a lair, which I'm going to guess is Snute, he's getting a +1 right now. Although HyuN's getting spine crawlers, so they both could go for lairs. We might see Spire, or we might... Yeah, there you go, it's Spire. Oh, his lair's already done. I'm out of it, whatever. But yeah, so if his lair's already done, see the Spire play. HyuN, though, like, at least use spine crawlers. Okay, he cancels them. Yeah, he's not on his own lair. That means he has to, basically all in, which means the spine crawlers are even a little bit more curious.
So I had mentioned mutas before, and I don't know if Snute's doing this because of the map. I was going to talk about the pros and cons of the map, but then we got into the actual game. And what's interesting is they will be good here because of the dedication to Roaches. Normally it's kind of question marks because that timing hits, your Spire's not done. We've seen it all before, right? But I actually like Snute's position for the Spire this game quite a bit, and on top of the fact that if HyuN does want to use any of these units, they'd have to go really far up top or through a terrible choke in the middle. So again, more time, more possibility to get these mutas out.
HyuN has not scouted really whatsoever, so he doesn't really have a good idea of when he could even expect a Spire. You could try and hit that time right before the mutas are out. That was 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, and he's still going so heavy in the Ravagers. I mean, unless he's hoping to get the sickest Corrosive Vials. I mean, if he does, cool.
Bring on the rocks?
Yeah, get your highlight clip button ready, guys.
That was just gonna be helpful. So I think he's just as caught off guard. I mean, not trying to make up for my own lack of awareness that Snute got a lair, but maybe HyuN also was like, well, I attacked him, and we had pretty macro openers, and I don't have a lair.
Here's the problem. Even though HyuN might not be best prepared for anti-air, he does have a big army, and 10 mutas will not clean this up easily. They might want to just go for the Ravagers in the back. They might just try and dogfight in the front lines with the Lings. I don't know, but we're about to find out as the mutas do get involved with the fight. HyuN now aware he has to dedicate these units. There's no going back home. He'll be chased down to death. We got new subs, we got resubs. We'll shut him out in a second because all chaos is broken loose now in Snute's face, and the mutas just don't really have the damage to stop this. This is something where if Snute can hold on to any very barely amount, he'll come out ahead. But sniping off the Banelings, losing out on that third. Ravages are starting to get picked off. The focus fire from the mutas isn't too bad.
I was gonna say, Snute has he had 20 more roaches on the way. While I might lose his third base drones, those mutas give him a lot of comeback potential.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Plus, he's got the upgrade advantage, +1. Let's not forget about that. Fourth base got grabbed behind this. So this got really scary for him. 20 workers down merely evens up the worker count. And that army supply advantage is going to be Snute's in a big way through these mutas. I mean, HyuN can maybe try and throw down some spore crawlers right now, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
I was gonna say the one complication that existed and continues to exist is that speedlings, you know, from HyuN could add on that drone kill quite a bit, but they're actually running into lings and roaches ready for them as opposed to running past. And HyuN, unless he can buy time and continue killing drones, like, yeah, I think he's just gonna lose.
He's going really heavy into queens, which is not a terrible response to this if there's no ground support. If it was just mutas, yeah, I would actually really like this, but Snute is coming with roaches, and if Snute consolidates, I think he overwhelms. Yeah. 74 army supplies, a lot of freaking army supply, but third base being the focus, drone's gonna go down, Roach is fighting the queens. GG, well played! Ladies and gentlemen, Snute will take the first series of the day, 3-2.
Woo.
But now on to the match I think everyone has been super hyped about. We've been super hyped about. It's not even a decider match. It's just a preliminary game. It's Solar versus Beyond up next. So we got to swap to Korea for that one. And we'll play a word from our sponsors in the meantime. Let me pick one of them. What do you think we should do? So we're talking about the rates, talk about the coverage, or talk about devices?
Rates.
All right, so quick TLDR before we go to the commercial break in case you guys want to go AFK. TING is really awesome because they don't lock you into contracts. This has been one of the big selling points. You can use them month to month. You just pay for what you use. You don't actually get locked in for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, or any of that nonsense. So to talk about the rates, I leave it to Kyra. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.